There comes a moment in life when energy doesn't show up the way it used to. You wake up tired, your drive feels lower, your body doesn't respond like it once did. And the truth is, after 50, it's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter with your health. Because what if the problem isn't aging, but missing nutrients? What if your body isn't slowing down? It's simply running on empty. Today, you're about to discover 3 essential vitamins that can reignite your energy, sharpen your performance, and restore that powerful sense of vitality from within. These are not trends. These are fundamentals your body has been craving. And once you understand them, everything begins to change. There's a quiet shift that happens in the body after 50, and most people don't even realize it's happening until they begin to feel it. It doesn't arrive loudly. It shows up in subtle ways, waking up a little more tired than usual, feeling drained halfway through the day, noticing that tasks that once felt easy now require more effort. At first, it's easy to dismiss. You might blame it on stress, poor sleep, or just a busy routine. But beneath all of that, something deeper is going on. Inside the body, energy production is no longer as efficient as it once was. The systems that convert food into fuel begin to slow down. Cells that once operated at full capacity start to lose their edge. This isn't because the body is failing. It's because it's missing key components it needs to function at its best. And one of the biggest missing pieces is proper nutrition at the cellular level. Think of your body like a high-performance machine. For years, it ran smoothly, handling pressure, stress, and long days without much resistance. But even the most powerful machine needs maintenance. It needs the right fuel, the right support, and the right conditions to keep performing. When that support starts to fade, performance drops. Not suddenly, but gradually, almost silently. One of the biggest contributors to this silent energy crisis is the decline in nutrient absorption. As the body ages, it becomes less efficient at pulling essential vitamins and minerals from the food you eat. So even if your diet hasn't changed, what your body actually receives from that diet may be significantly lower. This creates a gap between what your body needs and what it's getting. That gap shows up as fatigue. It shows up as slower recovery, reduced strength, and a lack of mental sharpness. You may notice it when climbing stairs, during workouts, or even in simple daily routines. The energy just isn't there the way it used to be. And the natural response is often to push harder, drink more caffeine, or ignore the signals altogether. But pushing harder without addressing the root cause only leads to more exhaustion. Because this isn't a motivation problem, it's a supply problem. Your body is not lacking effort. It's lacking the internal resources required to generate consistent energy. Another factor that plays into this is the natural decline in certain biological processes. Hormone levels begin to shift, muscle mass gradually decreases, and recovery takes longer. All of these changes require more support, not less. Yet most people continue with the same habits they've had for years, unaware that their body now requires a different level of care. This is where awareness becomes powerful. Because once you understand that fatigue is not just a sign of aging, but a signal of deficiency, you begin to look at it differently. Instead of accepting it, you start questioning it. Instead of working against your body, you start working with it. The truth is, your body is constantly communicating. It's telling you when something is missing. It's showing you when systems are under stress. And the energy drop you feel is one of the clearest messages it can send. When you begin to close that nutrient gap, when you start giving your body what it has been lacking, something remarkable happens. Energy doesn't just return in short bursts. It becomes steady, reliable, natural. You begin to feel a sense of strength that isn't forced, but built from within. This shift doesn't require extreme changes. It starts with recognizing what your body truly needs and choosing to support it consistently. Because the energy you've been searching for isn't gone, it's waiting to be restored. There is a powerful shift that happens when the body begins to run low on vitamin D, and for many men over 50, this deficiency goes completely unnoticed. It doesn't announce itself loudly. Instead, it quietly affects your strength, your mood, your drive, and your overall sense of vitality. What makes it even more important is that vitamin D doesn't behave like a typical vitamin. It functions more like a hormone, influencing some of the most critical systems in your body. As the years go by, your body becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. Even if you spend time outdoors, your skin's ability to convert sunlight into usable vitamin D declines significantly with age. Add to that modern indoor lifestyles, and it becomes clear why so many men experience low levels without even realizing it. When vitamin D levels drop, the effects begin to ripple through the body. One of the first areas impacted is muscle strength. You may notice that your body doesn't feel as powerful as it once did. Movements feel heavier. Lifting, walking, even maintaining posture requires more effort. This is because vitamin D plays a direct role in muscle function, helping your body contract and perform efficiently. Without it, strength begins to fade, not because you're incapable, but because your body lacks the support it needs. But the impact doesn't stop there. Vitamin D is deeply connected to hormonal balance, especially when it comes to testosterone levels. As men age, testosterone naturally declines, but low vitamin D can accelerate this process. This creates a chain reaction. Reduced testosterone leads to lower energy, decreased motivation, reduced performance, and even a drop in confidence. It's not just physical. It becomes mental and emotional as well. Another area where vitamin D plays a crucial role is bone health. After 50, maintaining strong bones becomes essential for staying active and independent. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, which is necessary for bone density and strength. Without enough of it, bones can become weaker over time, increasing the risk of fractures and limiting physical capability. Beyond the physical, there's also a noticeable effect on mood and mental clarity. Low vitamin D levels have been linked to feelings of fatigue, low mood, and even symptoms of depression. You might feel less motivated, less focused, and less engaged in daily life. It's not always obvious why, it just feels like something is off. And in many cases, that something is a simple deficiency that has gone unchecked. What makes vitamin D so powerful is that when levels are restored, the transformation can feel almost immediate. Strength begins to return. Energy feels more stable. The body responds better to movement and activity. There's a renewed sense of control and confidence that starts to build from within. This isn't about chasing quick fixes or temporary boosts. It's about giving your body the foundation it needs to function properly. Vitamin D supports the systems that create real, lasting energy. Not the kind that spikes and crashes, but the kind that stays with you throughout the day. And perhaps the most important realization is this. The decline you may feel is not always permanent. It's often the result of something missing, something your body is ready to respond to the moment it's restored. When you begin to understand the role of vitamin D, you stop seeing fatigue and weakness as inevitable, and you start seeing them as reversible, because true vitality isn't about age, it's about alignment. And when your body has the right support, it begins to operate the way it was designed to. There is a reason why some men wake up feeling refreshed, mentally sharp, and ready to take on the day, while others feel drained before the day even begins. Often, the difference isn't effort, sleep, or even lifestyle. It comes down to something much deeper and more fundamental: how efficiently the body is producing and delivering energy at a cellular level. And this is where vitamin B12 becomes absolutely essential. Vitamin B12 plays a critical role in how your body converts the food you eat into usable energy. Every meal you consume contains potential fuel, but without the right support system, that fuel remains locked away, inaccessible to your cells. B12 acts as a key that unlocks this energy, allowing your body to actually use what you're putting into it. Without enough of it, the entire system begins to slow down. As men age, one of the most overlooked changes is the body's reduced ability to absorb vitamin B12. This isn't about diet alone. You could be eating foods rich in B12, yet your body may struggle to extract and utilize it effectively. This creates a hidden deficiency, one that builds over time and gradually drains your energy without a clear or obvious cause. The first signs often appear as fatigue that doesn't seem to go away. Not the kind of tiredness that disappears after rest, but a deeper, more persistent lack of energy. You may feel physically weak, mentally foggy, and unable to maintain focus for long periods. Tasks that once felt simple now require more effort, and even after a full night's sleep, the body still feels like it's running on low power. This happens because vitamin B12 is directly involved in the production of red blood cells. These cells are responsible for carrying oxygen throughout your body. Oxygen is essential for energy. When B12 levels are low, red blood cell production becomes less efficient, and as a result, less oxygen reaches your muscles, your brain, and your vital organs. The outcome is a system-wide slowdown that affects nearly every aspect of your performance, but the impact of B12 goes beyond physical energy. It also plays a crucial role in brain function and nerve health. When levels are insufficient, communication between your brain and body becomes less efficient. This can lead to slower thinking, memory issues, lack of concentration, and even mood changes. You might find yourself forgetting things more often, struggling to stay focused, or feeling mentally drained even when you haven't done much. Over time, this creates a frustrating cycle. Low energy leads to reduced activity. Reduced activity leads to even lower energy, and the body begins to feel stuck in a constant state of fatigue. Many try to push through it with caffeine or short bursts of motivation, but those solutions only mask the problem. They don't fix it. When vitamin B12 levels are restored, the shift can feel powerful and immediate. Energy starts to return in a steady, consistent way. Instead of spikes and crashes, you feel sustained throughout the day. Your mind becomes clearer, your focus sharpens, and your body begins to respond the way it used to. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to a state that feels natural and strong. What makes this transformation so impactful is that it addresses the root of the problem. Instead of forcing energy from the outside, B12 helps your body generate it from within. It supports the systems that are responsible for real performance, allowing you to function at a higher level without constantly feeling drained. This is where awareness becomes everything. Because once you recognize that your fatigue may not be a permanent condition, but a correctable deficiency, you begin to see a path forward. You stop accepting low energy as part of aging and start understanding it as something that can be improved, strengthened, and even reversed. And in that realization, there's a renewed sense of control. Because energy isn't just about how much you do, it's about how well your body is equipped to do it. There is a hidden factor that often goes unnoticed when energy starts to decline. Sleep becomes inconsistent, and the body no longer feels as strong or responsive as it once did. It's not always about how much you're doing. It's about how well your body is recovering, regulating, and maintaining balance beneath the surface. This is where magnesium quietly becomes one of the most important elements in restoring strength, stability, and consistent energy. Magnesium is involved in hundreds of processes inside the body, yet many people never think about it. It works behind the scenes, supporting muscle function, calming the nervous system, and helping your body produce and use energy efficiently. But as the years go by, magnesium levels tend to drop, often without any clear warning signs. The result isn't one major symptom. It's a collection of small issues that gradually build up and begin to affect your daily life. You might notice that your muscles feel tighter than usual, or that cramps appear more frequently. Perhaps your sleep becomes lighter, more interrupted, leaving you tired even after spending hours in bed. There may be a sense of restlessness, irritability, or even low-level stress that never fully goes away. These are not random issues. They are signals that your body is struggling to maintain balance. Magnesium plays a key role in how your muscles contract and relax. Without enough of it, muscles can remain in a semi-contracted state, leading to stiffness, discomfort, and reduced performance. This affects not just exercise, but everyday movement, walking, bending, even standing for longer periods. The body feels less fluid, less capable, and more easily fatigued. At the same time, magnesium has a powerful effect on the nervous system. It helps regulate stress responses, allowing the body to shift from a state of tension into a state of calm. Without this regulation, the body can remain in a constant low-level stress mode, even when there's no immediate reason for it. This drains energy quietly but consistently, leaving you feeling worn out without understanding why. Less sleep is another area where magnesium becomes incredibly important. Deep, restorative sleep is when the body repairs itself, rebuilds muscle, and restores energy for the next day. Magnesium supports this process by helping the body relax and enter deeper sleep cycles. When levels are low, sleep becomes shallow and fragmented. You may wake up multiple times during the night or feel like your rest was never complete. Over time, this lack of proper recovery compounds the feeling of fatigue. What makes magnesium unique is that it doesn't just boost energy, it stabilizes it. Instead of creating temporary surges, it helps your body maintain a steady, balanced level of performance throughout the day. It allows your muscles to work efficiently, your mind to stay calm and focused, and your body to recover properly after effort. When magnesium levels are restored, the changes often feel subtle at first, but deeply meaningful. Sleep becomes more refreshing. Muscles feel more relaxed and responsive. Stress levels decrease, and with that, energy begins to return in a more consistent and controlled way. You're not relying on quick fixes or external stimulation. You're building a foundation of stability from within. This is especially important after 50, when recovery becomes just as important as activity. It's not just about how hard you push your body. It's about how well your body can repair and prepare itself for the next challenge. Magnesium supports that process in a way that few other nutrients can. The real power of magnesium lies in its ability to bring the body back into balance. When your system is balanced, everything works better. Your strength, your endurance, your focus, and your overall sense of well-being. Energy is no longer something you chase, it becomes something you naturally sustain. And when your body is calm, recovered, and supported, you don't just feel better. You perform better in every area of life. There's a powerful shift that happens when the body is no longer working in isolated parts, but instead begins functioning as a complete, connected system. This is where true vitality is built, not from a single solution, but from multiple elements working together in harmony. And when it comes to restoring energy, performance, and strength after 50, the combination of key nutrients creates an effect that is far greater than the sum of its parts. Individually, each vitamin plays a specific role. One supports strength and hormonal balance. Another fuels energy production at the cellular level. Another helps the body recover, relax, and maintain stability. On their own, they each make an impact. But when they are present together, supporting one another, the body begins to operate differently. It becomes more efficient, more resilient, and far more capable of sustaining energy throughout the day. Think of it like a team rather than a single player. One member provides the foundation, another drives the momentum, and another ensures balance and recovery. If even one is missing, the system becomes weaker, energy becomes inconsistent, performance declines, and recovery slows down. But when all are present and functioning together, the body begins to move with strength and precision again. This is what many people overlook. They search for a single fix, a quick solution that will instantly restore everything. But the body doesn't work that way. It's designed to function through balance, not extremes. When multiple systems are supported at the same time, the results are not only stronger, but also more sustainable. For example, when energy production improves, the body has more fuel to work with. But without proper recovery and relaxation, that energy can quickly be depleted. On the other hand, when the body is calm and well rested but lacks the ability to generate energy efficiently, you may feel relaxed but still fatigued. And when strength and hormonal balance are unsupported, even high energy levels may not translate into real performance. This is why synergy matters. It ensures that every part of the system is aligned. Energy is produced efficiently, delivered effectively, and used wisely. Muscles perform better because they are supported. The mind stays sharper because it is fueled properly. Recovery becomes faster because the body has what it needs to repair itself. When this alignment begins to happen, the changes are noticeable. Energy becomes more stable. You're no longer riding waves of highs and lows. Strength feels more natural, not forced. Focus improves, and daily tasks feel less draining. There's a sense of control that starts to return, as if your body is finally working with you instead of against you. Another important aspect of this synergy is consistency. When the body receives balanced support over time, it begins to adapt. Systems become stronger, responses become quicker, and performance becomes more reliable. This is not about temporary improvement. It's about long-term transformation. What makes this approach so effective is that it respects how the body is designed to function. It doesn't overload one area while neglecting another. Instead, it creates a foundation where every system has what it needs to operate at its best. And from that foundation, real energy and vitality are built. This is where many begin to notice a difference not just physically, but mentally as well. Confidence starts to return not because of external motivation, but because the body feels capable again. There is less hesitation, less fatigue, and more willingness to engage fully in daily life. The body is incredibly responsive when it is properly supported. It doesn't resist improvement, it moves toward it. But it needs the right conditions to do so. And when those conditions are met through balance, consistent support, the results speak for themselves. Energy becomes steady. Performance becomes stronger. Recovery becomes faster. And what once felt like decline begins to feel like renewal. There comes a point where everything becomes clear, not because the body suddenly changes, but because the understanding does. The fatigue, the lack of drive, the reduced performance, they are no longer seen as permanent limitations. They are recognized for what they truly are, signals. Signals that something is missing, something needs attention, something is ready to be restored. For many men over 50, the hardest part is not the physical change. It's the belief that nothing can be done about it, that this is just how life is now. Energy fades, strength declines, and the best days are behind. But that belief is often the biggest barrier to real transformation. Because the body is far more capable of recovery than most people realize, especially when it is given the right support. Reclaiming vitality doesn't begin with a dramatic overhaul. It begins with a decision, a simple but powerful shift in direction. The decision to stop ignoring the signals and start responding to them. The decision to support the body instead of pushing it beyond its limits. And most importantly, the decision to believe that improvement is still possible. Every day, the body is working for you. It's repairing, rebuilding, and trying to maintain balance even under less than ideal conditions. But when it lacks the essential nutrients it needs, its ability to perform these tasks is compromised. This is when fatigue sets in, recovery slows down, and performance begins to drop. Not because the body has given up, but because it doesn't have the tools required to keep going at full strength. The moment you begin to provide those tools, everything starts to shift. Energy is no longer something you chase. It becomes something your body naturally produces. Strength is no longer something you force. It becomes something you feel again in your movements. Even your mindset begins to change, because when your body feels stronger, your confidence follows. This process doesn't happen overnight, but it begins immediately. Small, consistent changes start to build momentum. The body responds step by step, restoring balance, improving function, and increasing resilience. What once felt difficult becomes manageable. What once felt exhausting becomes energizing. And over time, these small improvements compound into something much greater. There is also a deeper level to this transformation. It's not just about physical energy, it's about how you experience your daily life. When your body feels supported, your mind becomes clearer. Decisions become easier. Motivation feels natural instead of forced. You begin to engage more fully with the world around you, not because you have to, but because you want to. Too often, people wait for the perfect moment to start making changes. They wait until they feel ready, until they have more time, or until things get worse. But the truth is, the best time to begin is the moment you become aware. Because awareness creates opportunity. And once you see what your body needs, you have the power to respond. This is not about going back in time. It's about moving forward with strength and intention. It's about building a version of yourself that is not defined by age, but by how well you take care of what you have. The body you have today is still capable of more than you think. It just needs the right support to prove it. And that's where everything changes. When you stop accepting low energy as normal, when you stop settling for less than what your body is capable of, you begin to unlock something powerful. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Vitality is not reserved for the past. It is something that can be built, restored, and strengthened at any stage of life. But it starts with a choice, the choice to listen, to act, and to give your body what it has been asking for all along. And once that choice is made, the path forward becomes clear.